Good evening. It is day 16 of the Christmas story, also known as the greatest love story ever told, in the Good News Translation Bible. You can follow me along in any other ones. Sorry if the lighting's a little dark. My laptop is almost dead. The battery's almost dead, so I had to have it on the charger. So if the lighting's not quite right, my apologies for that. I'll try it from a different angle here so I can get through this. Let's get into it. It's day 16, chapter 16 of Luke. The shrewd manger. Jesus said to his disciples, "There was once a rich man who had a servant who managed his property. The rich man was told that the manger was wasting his master's money. So he called him in and said, Excuse me. What is this I hear about you? Turn in a complete account of your handling of my property, because you cannot be my manager any longer." The servant said to him, "My master is going to dismiss me from my job. What shall I do? I am not strong enough to dig ditches, and I am ashamed to beg. Now I know what I will do. Then when my job is gone, I shall have friends who will welcome me in their homes." So he called in all the people who were in debt to his master. He asked the first one, "How much do you owe your master?" 100 barrels of olive oil," he answered. "Here is your account," the manager told him. "Sit down and write 50. Then he asked one another, "And you, how much do you owe?" 1,000 bushels of wheat," he answered. "Here is your account," the manager told him. "Write 800. As a result, the master of this dishonest manager praised him for doing such a shrewd thing, because the people of this world are much more shrewd in handling their affairs than the people who belong to the light. And Jesus went on to say, "And so I tell you, make friends for yourselves with worldly wealth, so that when it gives out, you will be welcome in the eternal home. Whosoever is faithful in small matters will be faithful in large ones. Whosoever is dishonest in small matters will be dishonest in large ones. If then you have not been faithful in handling worldly wealth, how can you be trusted with true wealth? And if you have not been faithful with what belongs to someone else, who will give you what belongs to you? No servant can be the slave of two masters. Such a slave will hate one and love another, or will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." Some sayings of Jesus. When the Pharisees heard of this, they made fun of Jesus because they loved money. Jesus said to them, "You are the ones who make yourselves look right in other people's sight, but God knows your hearts. For the things that are considered of great value by people are worth nothing in God's sight. The law of Moses and the writings of the prophets were in effect up to the time of John the Baptist. Since then, the good news about the kingdom of God is being told, and everyone forces their way in. But it's easier for heaven and earth to disappear than for the smallest detail of the law to be done away with. Any man who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery, and the man who marries a divorced woman commits adultery." The rich man and Lazarus. There was once a rich man who dressed in the most expensive clothes and lived in great luxury every day. There was also a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who used to be brought to the rich man's door, hoping to eat the bits of food that fell from the rich man's table. Even the dogs would come and lick his sores. The poor man died and was carried by the angels to sit beside Abraham at the feast in heaven. The rich man died and was buried, and in Hades, where he was in great pain, he looked up and saw Abraham far away and Lazarus at his side. So he called out, Father Abraham, take pity on me, and send Lazarus to dip his finger in some water and cool off my tongue, because I am in great pain in this fire. That's how hot hell's going to be. He just went one little dip of a finger of water on his finger. That's how hot hell is. You don't want to go there, man. That is terrible. But Abraham said, remember, my son, that in your lifetime you were given all the good things, while Lazarus got all the bad things. But now he is enjoying himself here while you are in pain. Besides all that, there is a deep pit lying between us, so that those who want to cross over from here to you cannot do so, nor can anyone cross over to us from where you are. The rich man said, Then I beg you, Father Abraham, send Lazarus to my father's house, where I have 5 brothers. Let him go, and warn them, so that they at least will not come to this place of pain. Abraham said, Your brothers have Moses and the prophets to warn them. Your brothers should listen to what they say. The rich man answered, That is not enough, Father Abraham. But if someone were to rise from the dead and go to them, then they would turn from their sins. But Abraham said, If they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, they would not convince, even if someone were to rise from the dead. This is the word of the Lord. I guess by now you're thinking, what does this have to do with Christmas? Well, it has everything to do with Christmas. It's not just about a baby in the manger. This is the life of Jesus, of what he went through. The day he was born until the day he died, and then he resurrected again. So that is why this is called the Christmas story. We will continue further with this in chapter 17. I hope you follow along with me through this beautiful story. You may comment or subscribe or put a thumbs up if you want. Love you. Have a good night.